What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and I want to thank you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing. I hope that today is the day I earn that subscription. If so, you hit that red subscribe bar down below. Help grow this community that together we can go straight to the moon, baby. I'm just trying to keep it low. It's still early for where I'm at. The missus is still sleeping. Today we're going to be getting into Legion of X number 6. It's a tie-in to the Avengers. Avengers, X-Men, Eternals storyline that happened last year, basically. Near the end of last year. This review is going to be pretty simple because this only deals with one part of the story. But let's get into it. Legion of X number 6, Holding the Line, written by Cy Spurrier. Artist is Raphael Pimentel. Colorist Federico Blee. Cover artist Ben Harvey. This is the cover here. I like this cover, actually. This is one of the more crispier ones for me. I like them crispy. Whatever that means, right? The overall story of what was going on in Avengers versus Eternal versus X-Men was that the Eternals were made by the Celestials many years ago to basically keep the planet, to keep an eye on the planet running and everything. And then when it was time for the Celestial that was inside the planet to be born, then boom, that happens, and bye-bye everyone, and the Eternals are on to the next job, right? That's the general premise, right, of the Eternals. Very simplistic overview of them. And we know that the Avengers and X-Men teams deal with their own respective issues and enemies. The Eternals, for the most part, have been good guys, right? You get the occasional bad guy out of the group, but that seems to happen. But what this story was, the premise of the story was that the Celestials were telling the Eternals that there's too much excess deviation happening on Earth and that they need to start eliminating that. And there were some Eternals that felt like they got to really break away from being just told carte blanche what to do and expect to be the bullet, the weapon that is used, right? I think that is what happens to a lot of people that do this type of job. They even touched in it in Age of Ultron, the movie with the Sokovia Accords, where Captain America is like, well, we get to at least choose what's right and wrong, right? They can send us somewhere where we have no other choice but to do that mission, and it could be one of the more moral things that we don't want to do, but we're going to wind up having to do it, right? Like, why put ourselves in that position? So the Eternals kind of had a similar, why are we going after mutants and other beings that have excess mutation in it when they were born like that, you know what I mean? I was born this way. I like that song. I love Lady Gaga. On a side note, but let's get into it. This particular part of the story deals with Uranus the Undying coming to Mars, or Akroa, if you will, and basically he has an hour to wreak havoc on Mars, and he does. This is one of the times where the bad guy basically wins. We start off with David. Oh, and also in this story, the Celestial that comes to basically judge us He's going to each hero, each villain, and giving them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. They're basically he's judging everyone, okay? And some people who get judged that you think that would get a thumbs up, get a thumbs down, and vice versa, or just totally unexpected results. We have Kurt here with the rest of the Legionnaires trying to protect Mars, to try to hold the line, so to speak. And they're trying to do their best. I will say this was one of the more action-packed issues that they had put out for this series. There's really not much talking. I mean, there is talking and everything, but it's primarily just trying to make sure that Uranus doesn't kill everyone on Mars. But unfortunately, he kills a lot of these mutants on Mars and then winds up going back to where his base of operations is. Even Fox Ignis is trying to help, because Mother Righteous understands that even through her amalgamations of all the deal cutting and all these things that she's trying to do to get faith into her, for her to become more powerful, at least that's my opinion on what her grand goal is, so to speak. Even she knows that she's got to send Vox here, a.k.a. Banshee, to protect Mars, because if there's no David Haller, if there's no Legionnaires, if there's no one to celebrate her, then there's no one to, give her the power. I just really think that some of this art was really great. I love this here. Splash page, so to speak. I will say this was one of the last interactions with Magneto and Legion. Basically, Legion getting told by Magneto that he trusts Legion to do the right thing. And don't forget that Legion, at one point, going back in time, trying to kill Magneto, accidentally killed his father. And then we get the obligatory Magneto was right. Magneto at this point was part of the X-Men Red Team, and unfortunately during this storyline he died, like for real died. Well, until they decide to bring him back, right? But he did not have his brain patterns backed up, and he did not want to be resurrected, so there is no way at this point of bringing him back. Storm also decided not to have her brain patterns backed up and stuff like that. And so if she dies, then she's done for too. And basically the Celestial here, at the end of this attack on Mars, judges David Haller with a thumbs up. David Haller doesn't care, though, obviously, because he's worried about the recovery of his people now, the trauma of having to go through what he had to go through. If you're looking for an action-packed issue, this was definitely one of those issues that you can read up on. Everyone was doing their part. Blindfold, David, Nightcrawler, all these other guys on Mars trying to, even Aura Soretta, that was trying to cause us problems in the first storyline, was helping, and it was one of the few times where the bad guys won and just decimated everybody and destroyed something like 98% of the mutants on Mars. And it took a lot out of them. And then with Magneto not coming back, to life. We were able to feel some stakes out of the storyline. For a tie-in, uh, it was worth the read. You know what I mean? I was already collecting the book. Um, there's really not much to say about this issue other than there was a lot of action. It was a tie-in to the Avengers X-Men Eternal storyline. Obviously, our heroes ended up winning and not getting destroyed by the Celestial. It was also one of the other major things besides Magneto dying was that the mutants used the resurrection process on a human for the first time by resurrecting Steve Rogers. So, always got to find a way to keep him young looking, right? It would be interesting one day to see if they did anything to him, like Emma Frost or something, and I'm gonna subliminally put a trigger word in his brain so I can take control of him one day, or something like that. That would be interesting. But yeah, that's the only tie-in that we have for this issue. Like I said, just a lot of battling in the first 3/4 of the issue, then dealing with the loss of Magneto and getting judged by the Celestial, and just kind of having a collective rest after the first half a year of storylines, so to speak. But we'll start wrapping this series up in the next couple of days. There's literally issue 7, 8, 9, and 10 left, so maybe in the next week we can finish that up, get the second issue of Sins of Sinister out too, because I do have the first one out. It's in the Nightcrawler playlist, along with these other stories. And that's it for now, guys. I hope that I was able to entertain you today. Let me know if you read this story of the Avengers fighting the Eternals and X-Men, a three-way battle, so to speak. And if so, let me know what you thought of it. Did you think they did the right thing by killing off Eric? Or he should have stayed around? You let me know. And until next time, peace, Snookums.